is the Apparelist podcast, designed to bring you real-life conversation about high-level topics relevant to the decorated apparel community.
Well, let's get rolling. So now that we're starting the official podcast and not recording certain, maybe inappropriate things. Never with this group. We never record anything inappropriate with the OGs of DTG. And guess what, all of you Apparelist listeners, I'm here with all of them in person for the first time I've ever been in this group with all of you together in person. So we're here at Printing United Expo 2024, recording this podcast in the apparel zone. Things are already hopping. It's day one. It's already packed. People are crowding in, listening to some education. So here with some friends, we're recording some stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about some, trends, forecasting, what's going on in the industry. These guys all have a pretty good finger on the pulse of what's happening. Not that they need any introductions, but let's let them introduce themselves this time since they're here and with us. Eric, kick us off.
My name is Eric Deem. I'm with Millcraft.
Gerald Canalupo with Breakthrough Clothing.
I'm Deanna Iribe with The Print Bakery and DTG Connection.
Anthony Creek with Creek Manufacturing.
Dean Biskin with UX Print, Viper, RTP, and Image Armor.
Oh my gosh.
iGroup Technologies. There you go. Keep it simple.
Okay.
Long-winded.
Then you say the actual.
I think you also went last time I introduced you.
Yeah, save the best for last, baby.
All right, guys.
See what we have to deal with?
Yeah. Do you see how I have to moderate you people?
Oh my God. You people.
Wait a second.
Wait a minute.
She's got a lot of editing to do.
I am editing 0 of this. It is going as it is, okay?
All right. That's what we like.
All right. So on a more serious note, I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about what you're seeing in the industry. Obviously, you guys are very heavily involved on the DTG side, but you guys also understand what's going on in the apparel decorating community at large. So what are we really seeing when it comes to new equipment? What's really exciting you guys this year? Deanna, what you got?
What's exciting this year? I think all of the new advances in DTF have been great. We have one printer coming out with multiple color channels, including RGB and orange, which has been unheard of until now. We also see other companies that are using polymers for DTG that allows you to print wet on wet directly with the polyester as well. So it is pretty exciting.
Wow. What else we got, guys? Who's excited about certain things this year?
I just enjoy seeing, some of these screen print manufacturers getting into DTG, trying to make the printing faster and faster, as Eric was speaking like earlier before on how digital has just keep growing so much. We're almost getting up to this, levels of the screen print. So seeing machines getting faster, and then with that type of equipment, we can add in more print heads. And as Deanna just said, one company's adding orange, just start adding more colors, maybe start adding fluorescence. So I kind of enjoy seeing these other real big players getting into the industry for digital to make things happen.
Yeah. Cool.
I totally agree with you, Gerald. The all-in-one machines that are technically kind of combined the thought
like
process.
hybrid? Okay.
The hybrid machines that can do both, because every DTF is DTF all the time. But with DTG, combining the thought process of screen printing, like the OvalJet, the Polaris, or even Brothers, to where it's more. Obviously, it's big business focused. But as soon as they can incorporate, load a shirt, at the end you got a done product, you're not fiddling with all these steps, doing manual moving around and stuff like that. To me, that really excites me. But obviously, it's business focused. Like, that's not going to be your entry level machine.
Oh, no, for sure, it's very big players.
But the more that gets adopted, I think it's just it's
they
cool.
They have no choice. Print on demand is buyers are changing the
way they
landscape
buy
of the industry.
Exactly.
And even in today's state of the industry meeting, we sat there and watched the graphs and watched how screen printing. They have no choice. They have to adapt or they're going to get left behind, because everybody wants on demand. And we have to be able to provide that, whether it's through DTF, DTG, a combination of the two, some form or fashion. POD is where it's at. Those big, huge runs of 25,000 pieces for a concert they're not as prevalent like they were 10 years ago. It's just not there. It's a completely different model now. And I mean, even seeing like the big boys like Epson get into DTF and stuff, and realizing like we need to pivot into this other technology as well.
Yeah.
And M&R, I mean, if we go to M&R's booth, they're not showcasing their big DTG stuff. They're showcasing, they have 3 or 4 DTF printers.
Yeah.
But they have the Polaris, obviously. I think that it's that market is really where I think we're going to see DTG continue to shine, is in the large fulfillment, the Vulcan owners, the M&R,
The
Mavericks, the Rocks. Those customers are going to stay very, very strong in the DTG segment, in my opinion. But I do think that the mall and paw type customers, that it's going to slow way down for them, because the application limitations that DTG provides compared to DTF allows a smaller person to be able to expand into more markets with DTF as opposed to DTG. It's not like it's a one-trick pony, but it's really good at the on-demand aspect of things compared to.
I guess if you
want
had
to do a baseball team on demand, it's much easier to run a gang run of film and put it on jerseys than it is to do screen print numbers, names and numbers. Nobody wants screen print names and numbers. Nobody wants vinyl names and numbers. We don't want to weed. On poly's not ever been a good solution yet. What else is left? The new technologies. So.
If you had to pull one saving grace out of COVID, I guess, at least in our industry, is exactly what you said. It was like POD just exploded. People sitting around like, oh, goofy shirt, let me buy this, or and then
let me have a side gig and make some money. Let me buy a DTG printer.
And then sell it 6 months later because I didn't have a business plan. And don't even
I was actually going to ask about that, because I feel like we see a lot of that happen. A bunch of people are buying machines thinking it's going to be that easy. Like, you just turn it on and it's going to print money for you.
But in the same sense, though,
it's
been that way with screen printing too.
Okay.
You can get. They have no idea what they're getting into, all the steps that it takes. Not to knock anybody here, but buying a brand new, especially if you don't know, buying a brand new automatic or a screen printing press is just crazy, because you literally can go on Marketplace or Craigslist or something, and you got 50 of them within 10 miles.
I think that a problem with the newbies also is that they come to a show, they see the lights, they see all the flash things. It looks really easy for us. We've been printing. We've all printed millions of shirts. I can do it with my eyes closed, But people who are new to it, they fumble around with it, and it's a tough thing, and they get in over their head, and they're being oversold. The way of a customer who wants UV DTF because he wants to do coffee mugs. And I'm like, no, you want Daiso. Oh, I'm like, give me your top 10 things that you want to produce, and then let's help you find the proper solution. And I think that's where we see a lot of people struggle in our industry to be successful, is because they were sold the wrong piece of technology.
Anthony sees it a lot with me in the Facebook groups, is that they're going for the cheapest. They're like, what's the best quality printer I can buy for $2,000? And it has to cure cancer and all these other things. And then, people are also moving them to China, which is kind of also destroying our industry as well, because we need to help support each other as being stateside sellers. And people just are really looking at price right now. They don't care if it's made in the U.S. or, they don't care if it has U.S. support, when it really should matter, because...
They do later.
Absolutely.
That's what happens.
But nobody wants to listen to us. And people are getting into DTF going, I'm going to buy stuff from, TikTok guy of his converted printers and everything, and then later they're getting totally scammed and they're getting bad products, and that's happening on the daily, and it also kind of discourages other people to continue in the commercial route. And that's a shame too as well.
Yeah. People usually on those Facebook groups, they'll say something about which printer is the cheapest and what they can get their foot into in the door. And sometimes it's not always the best thing, because sometimes those printers are really extremely difficult to work on. And sometimes people don't know the basics. Unplug your printer, unplug the USB. And most of the time we don't really see that. And they end up getting themselves into something that they can't get themselves out of, and end up spending more. They'll buy a printer for $2,000 and then end up spending, $7,000 to fix a problem, or buy another of the same printer.
Talk with what Eric was saying, since back in the day, we would see people, probably when we started, 50% of the people that bought DTG ended up selling their equipment because they couldn't get it fixed. Now there are some places, where Eric is, Eric completely knows how to build a machine and sell a machine. But back then, somebody would sell a machine, and it would be I'd ask questions and then be like, people, you got to ask these questions to see if it's right for you. And nowadays, when people go into groups and they say, hey, what type of machine. It's like, what's important to you? Is quality important? Is tech support important? Is speed important? You got to ask the correct questions to get the right machine, and then less people would, be failing out. There's multiple people, believe it or not, who are like, they get the machine and they say, hey, somebody said something about pre-treatment. What's pre-treatment? I have to pre-treat a shirt? Like, you just spent $25,000. What do you mean right now?
That is honestly the biggest issue with DTG, and will always be, is the fact that pre-treatment became secondary. Pre-treatment needed to be the shining star as soon as machines started coming out.
Yeah, printing is easy.
The printing part is well, that's what you essentially get sold on, like, whoa, the finished product. But it's like all the steps, and pre-treatment is an essential step.
Well, it's just like knowing how to do separations and how to coat your screens and what mesh to have. People don't see, they don't know. They walk in, they see Lon Winters print some badass image.
And he's with
the best screen printer in the world.
Insane.
And they wonder
so
why,
good.
well, how come I can't do that with my 4-color manual press that I put together with 2x4s?
Artwork and pre-treatment come first. If you have good artwork and you can pre-treat well and using a good pre-treatment, the printing part is hit print.
Well,
but if you're
it's a good garment too, though. Makes a big difference too.
Yeah.
Physics, mechanical, it's just like a car. A car's a car.
But if the pre-treatment's messed up, it's going to look like junk. So, but going back to what Gerald said, it's funny that when it was the start, we got to know all each other because we were all asking questions. We were those people.
Even.
Yeah, we were those people who were on the forums and we're like, what's going on here?
And then we shared it though. We are very open about sharing what we know.
A lot of free knowledge.
I mean, I started an entire consulting business based on our knowledge, and
and people still won't pay.
I know. I can't believe we didn't have to pay you to come.
I know.
all 5 of us here have spent a ton of money, like, learning how to do stuff correctly. When I started, I had my machine. I didn't sell a shirt for a month because I was just buying different blanks, different colors, what worked, what didn't work. And 15 years ago, 10 years ago, a lot of shirts didn't work. You took that Gildan, Spectrum 50 colors. If you had 25 of them work without staining, you were like, I am the man right now. And now and nowadays it's like, if you can't get all 55 of them to work, it's like, what's the matter with you? You're terrible. Like, I don't want to do this. So. Yeah.
We put in the time to test. That was I noticed a lot of people, if something doesn't work, they'll go to look for a quick answer without doing the testing.
Yeah.
It's like, what Gerald just said, like, when you started, you put in hours of testing to try to figure out what's going to work.
Thousands of dollars.
Your time, most people, they're like, I was sold that I could just press a button, print a shirt. I want it to be quick. 5-second society that we're in, it's like everybody just wants it now.
Well,
but
then also
you put in the
customers will
testing.
Like, they'll say, well, I've got this new shirt from brand ABC with this color. What setting should I use?
Yeah. Don't even tell you what the fabric is. They don't even tell you nothing. It's it's called. You have to do 12 of them, order 14 of them, and try one out. And when we all started, it wasn't like we were like a huge shop. Like, I started out of my bedroom. I started sleeping on my couch. So my bedroom became my print room. But I was like, if I'm going to give something to somebody, it has to be good. It has to be right. I'm not going to give garbage. So I need to do the right thing and plan it. And people are like, dude, make something for me. I'm like, no, like, I'm not ready to do that. And they were cool with that because I didn't give out crap at the beginning.
Well, I tell customers all the time, if you want to print on a Kelly Green shirt, bring in Kelly Green shirts from 5 or 6 different manufacturers. Run them through your process and see if you have to change anything. If you have to change your workflow, then that might not be the best shirt. But if there's another shirt that's in that same vertical or that same color space that you didn't have to change, then put that, and that's the shirt you use.
People don't want to do trial and error anymore.
They want everything given to them.
And I understand because the answer may be in whatever forum they're in, and they want a quick answer. That's cool. But at the same time, if something's unacceptable to you, why would you even want to print on it in the first place and give it to your customer? And everybody wants a quick answer now, and sometimes it's just not feasible.
Agree.
Even before we started recording, they were letting the customer dictate what they wanted, but the customer doesn't know the process and the limitations and stuff. So sometimes you have to step up and say, I'm sorry, but this just isn't going to work. Here's option A, B, and C. And going back to Kelly Green, we actually have a shirt that is unpretreatable. That's a Kelly Green shirt. I found the exact same Kelly green of a different manufacturer that we were able to work, but this one particular brand, we spent a whole day trying every pre-treatment that was out there, every setting that we could get, and it doesn't work. And that comes down to the dyes, the cottons.
Like
there's factors that you can't control. So unfortunately, that's just like one of those shirts.
And
It
shops
can't
have
be
to
done.
audit themselves too, because things change. The manufacturer of the garments are not telling us, "Hey, we changed dye lot."
Yeah.
They don't.
Right.
Yeah,
They say,
year
you need
after
to pull
year.
a shirt out every week
Yeah.
or every week. Grab a shirt,
2 years
throw it in
later,
the trash.
Hey, this shirt's not working.
Right.
This
It
shirt's not
happens
working
all
the
the
same way.
time.
Yep, 100%.
All the time, and they
100%.
think it's our business is so dynamic. It's never stopping. It's always evolving, changing. There's new colors, new brands, new types of fabrics.
Well, I
And-
mean,
and-
cotton grows every year. It's not like polyester that's man-made. So like, depending on how that season is, that cotton's literally different.
Oh, yeah.
So when you get that next batch a year later, 2 years later, then it could be different.
I mean, you could be in Central California where the agriculture is booming. Are you going to change your mangoes this year? I mean, cotton's going to work different, I mean, the fruit isn't going to grow the same size every freaking lot.
Right. Even at the wineries, the grapes are going to be a little bit different from season to season.
This year is just a tad bit sweeter. How come you couldn't make it the same as last year?
And I think, especially when I'm talking to customers and stuff, I'll tell people that straight up. Like, it just doesn't work. And the customer is almost dumbfounded, like, wait, what do you mean? Like, no, you're supposed to have the answer, and there has to be that it'll work. Sorry, sometimes they don't work.
Yeah, go to this manufacturer, tell them to change their things.
Yeah,
so our way-
I've done that before.
But you have to be smart enough to go, okay, let me get a second or a third opinion or talk to somebody else. Or
Like our industry is always ever changing. And like you said, problems change or, our substrates change. And we are always adaptable to it. But a lot of our customers are not. They're really stuck in their ways. Like, this has always worked. This will always be this way. And then once you ask them to change, they kind of just start to freak out. And then they start going to us rather than testing, and they kind of use all of us as a crutch.
Oh yeah. 2 o'clock
we
in the
all
morning.
used to spend time helping people. I used to not sleep at night because I wouldn't be able to get an answer out, and then I would probably not. I had to put a stop of it or else I would probably be divorced by now. But but it's kind of difficult. I really we all do feel for these people, but at the same point they do have to learn for themselves to a point. If I see they have tried and failed, then okay, I'll be more than willing to give more time. But if all they're going is hey, so what's the PMS color for red? Or how many grams of pre-treat? I'm like, if you Google it, you'll find it. I read an article, many people have written articles about pre-treatment. The answer is there, but they just want someone to just tell them that it's okay and hold their hand.
Well, we give them the tools now. Like with the Viper Max, being able to do the step test, we run CAD-Link on all of our equipment, which allows me to do white ink setting tests and stuff like that, to run wizards to dial in the process. But people just don't want to spend the time to do the R&D, and I can't run your shop. Everybody's shop's different, humidity's different, barometric pressure's different, altitude's different. It affects every aspect of the shop's operations. And you just can't there is no one size fits all, it's black and white. It's not right. It's just not that way.
Yeah, altitude's a big thing.
Yeah, if you want to be a business owner, you have to know that things are going to change as you go. You're going to have to look, say, oh, this is changing. What do I need to do to fix it? That's what every business is like. There's no business out there that's just year after year, same exact. You have to make changes or you go out of business. It's that simple. But the great thing is, if you just spend a little bit of time, you Google, you go on the forums, you go on the different groups, you'll find answers, just a little bit of effort, that's all.
Or if you go to YouTube, you can find mine or Gerald's videos or Deanna's or Eric's or Dean's. We got a lot of information, step by step.
All of us have YouTube
Everything.
video. We're all, there's almost every aspect of the entire industry. The 5 of us have covered in some form or fashion.
Step by step by step.
Yeah.
Each little tiny thing that you need to know.
That's
it's
why we're
on
the
there.
best to buy from, because we care about you guys.
Right.
And we also, we know how to work our printers and that we sell. So
Hashtag Millcraft.
All right. Oh, wow.
That one.
shameless plug.
No, I'm very curious. The Rico that just came out. What's everybody's opinion?
We need that development mindset and not just stick with the status quo.
Okay.
Okay, so I do agree with that. The brands, they say we've not just resolved one thing. It's like, okay, let's continue to evolve this business and sell more machines. That's the end of the game, right?
Anybody that is putting in time, money, effort to keep DTG alive, because DTG is great for exactly what it does. You know what I mean? It serves a purpose. Just like DTF is great if you use it for the purpose. Not one process covers every single thing. But anybody that's putting in the R&D to develop advancements for the industry that we love so much, I'm 100% behind. I think it's great that they're continuing to push, hey, how can we make this easier? How can we help our customers get over this hurdle that might be a hassle or something? I agree with you, Eric. I respect the technology, the advancement.
I love seeing it. I love seeing
the new tech is,
yes,
I geek out on
great.
it.
I think that part is great. Yeah.
I love the idea and the initiative, again, to keep DTG direct to garment alive.
I personally have not used the machine, so I don't comment on how well something is or isn't without using it.
I haven't seen print quality at all, but
you know,
I mean,
the idea, like, love it, like, bring that, you know, like, I spoke earlier with, like, I love seeing the big players get in it, and look, I'm like a small guy, like, I don't have $1 million Polaris or Rock, but I do know that, like, when the big players get in it, somehow you make that technology get cheaper and cheaper,
it trickles
right? Like,
down.
electrical cars, $200,000, now you can get a Tesla Y for $40K, you know, and it drives itself. So it's like, that's what I like to see. When the big players get in, the smaller players can adapt and say, okay, I'm going to make that technology, but now instead of $1 million, it's 100K and then 50K and go forward and keep advancing this industry.
Everything keeps getting faster, cheaper, more efficient, cleaner, easier to use, easier to maintain.
Yeah, you let the
we're
big
still in the
players
infancy.
spend the R&D money,
Right.
and then the little guys can say, okay, they just spent $1 million on R&D. This is kind of how they did it. How can we adapt to that?
When we have a lot of the machines that are coming from overseas that they put it together, it works, and they ship it, and then the purchaser, the print shop, they're the beta testers. They're the ones who are doing the R&D for the manufacturers. And there's so many problems by having that model. That is just not the right way of doing it. So having these types of companies they're the ones pushing the technology, I think is a much better solution.
I think when you get into it, you should know that, like, the first generation of something is not going to be perfect.
Oh yeah, good Lord.
Yeah, like, but it's how the company handles the issues and how they take care of their customers.
Right. Look at your guys' first pre-treatment machine.
Yeah, exactly. We don't make it anymore, and there's a reason why.
I love that machine, by the way.
But
I wanted to throw it through a window.
But there are still people that are out there that took our concept and are still doing it because it sells and it technically works. But is it the best? Heck no. There's much more better ways. It takes time to learn
what you don't know.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know what you don't know, right?
It's like, this is the first time we've set this booth up here at the show. I do know. I know that I don't know.
You know that you don't know?
I know. I know.
Okay.
No?
Okay.
No? Okay.
Why am I having who's on first? Like. All right. So you guys have been in this industry, obviously, for a number of years. You guys have seen a lot of changes. So what are we looking at for 25 and beyond? What do you think we're going to see?
Neon inks.
Definitely, for all the bigger gamuts are definitely happening.
I love
We're going to
that.
start seeing orange and red and greens coming into play.
Like chrome, maybe?
Yeah, metallics.
Chrome or like metallics, yeah.
But a lot of that
like
stuff
specialty
is niche-y.
type. It is very niche, so it's not going to be
so
huge,
like screen
but
printers,
yeah.
You're not doing a whole lot of foil. You're not doing a whole lot of puff. I mean, you do have those customers, but it's not something that is as prevalent as that's just print.
Yeah.
I think we're going to see, like, the DTF. I know we don't want to talk about DTF, but I do think that we're going to continue to see DTF get better. I think powder's going to go away. I think we're going to get more efficiency. I think it's going to be applications. I think we're going to get a better transfer, not be so heavy, won't feel as vinylly anymore. We're still, like you said, we're still first generation on that in the scheme of things, especially with the big manufacturers.
Yeah,
Epson just released a printer this show for direct to film that nobody's ever seen.
Sorry, but I know that this kind of goes against, especially where I work and what we do, but I think before I die, there will be a direct-to-garment printer that doesn't need pre-treatment.
100%.
Oh, yeah,
Because I mean,
It's
think about
inevitable. It has to
yeah,
happen.
that will be game changing. I think that'll be like a new rebirth of the industry.
The white format world is able to jet primers and optimize.
Have you
and stuff
seen
like
the?
that, so.
There's a company that's printing emulsion right to the screen.
That's pretty cool.
So an emulsion's like, I'm sure it's a special emulsion. It has different viscosities and stuff. But that to push that through a print head, so it's creeping there. It's
I also
creeping
think
there.
that we're going to see I don't mean to interrupt. I know I'll try to take from you guys, Anthony, but
Wait, what? Eric wants to talk again? You interrupted.
It's just something that triggered real quick. I was watching, but one of the things that she mentioned, and I had mentioned it to, I can't remember. One of the manufacturers is working with about G7 color certifications, and I think that is really rad. That we're going to see that come into the apparel space. We've never seen that in the apparel space.
Yeah, I read that article when you posted it. I think you should link it if you can, Cassie, because the G7 thing is really cool. Like people don't understand.
No.
I didn't understand until I read the article.
Print, you wouldn't understand, but people who we sell a lot into the commercial print space. I mean, that's primarily our business is 99.9% commercial print, and now we're into the wide format and apparel segments. But G7 is well known within the commercial print space. They live and breathe and die by G7, and if we can bring that into our world and be able to dynamically adjust as we're printing, and that's I think that's really a big game changer for our industry.
Oh, huge. Yeah, I think Eric hit the nail on the head with the inks, and Deanna did too. You know, there's going to be more. There's going to be a wider gamut of ink. Colors that people will be able to print. I'm starting to see more specialty films come out now, like foils, glitter. And before it wasn't so stable, but now, we're doing some testing in-house and it seems pretty consistent. So I think we'll probably see a lot more of that stuff. I think more specialty films and inks are going to be popping.
I will warn you guys, though, that the glitter film we have seen destroy printers.
Yeah.
If they get a head strike on that glitter film, it's all over.
Yeah, it's like sandpaper right to...
Yes.
Yeah.
So you just got to be like that. You do the same thing to a head strike on a pre-treated shirt.
Right.
Then you just sell them some cleaning solution and you're good.
I see the space getting more and more commercial. Printers are getting larger and faster. Honestly, for me, what I would like to see is for it to go smaller, or not so small as a 1070. I still would want something that's more like an average print size, not like a baby printer, but something also that's more, I don't know if you guys see online, people are doing more and more pop-ups every day. All those vendor events.
Yeah,
and
you need something you can transport.
Right, and that currently, that is my market. I use my DTG printer to do direct-to-film, but I would love to, haul my printer to an event, but I am not getting it. Me and my husband, we discussed it, we're like, we're not going to put it on its side and get it outside and bring it back. It's not feasible, I would love to see something more compact. If we had a transformer kind of thing, that would be great. We can kind of just, box it up. But I would love to see it kind of go in that direction and also help compete against all the Chinese imports, but also have the support stateside, have the same speed, at the very least, the same speed and also the same, print size.
Another cool thing to see going forward would be I think by 2030 we'll have an ink that doesn't need pre-treatment, but also another ink that doesn't settle out where you need agitators and shakers and stuff. It's always good, ready to go with machines, because a lot of that messes with the maintenance. So if you get an ink doesn't need to be shaken and all this, I think your maintenance becomes way easier. Then you can possibly start doing stuff where you bring it to festivals, you bring it to that, you just make a little barrier around it so wind can't affect, but you adapt this where people can do a lot of mobile printing, and then I think it starts being even more game changer.
I definitely think there's a food truck model to be had for
I saw
her
one guy
decorating.
do it in a big truck, had air conditioners, he put $100K just into the trailer just to make it work, and he'd go to car shows and then take pictures of people's cars and then print them right on the spot.
There's an old video I'll send to all you guys. It's buried on YouTube, but Brian, when he was getting going with selling the 541, he had a trailer setup that he would sell you the whole trailer with the printer, a heat press, and everything. And that was one of his models was hey, it's a mobile print station. I don't think he sold any of them, but he sold the one that he had made. Yeah.
Every show you get to, it's realignments from all the bumps and
stuff.
Yeah. What's my alignment off by 1 inch?
The equipment's not designed to really be mobile, though.
Yeah.
Inkjet on its own is not really...
You move a printer 10 feet, and it's please redo
You do a flatbed like that? Oh, it's over. I mean, it's 6 or 8 hours of realignments on a flatbed just if you move it.
I remember a long time ago there was an article about a guy that was doing it out of a hearse. You guys remember that in the
Nice.
T-Jet days?
No, out of a
Wow.
purse.
I remember this specific article, reading about it. I thought it was pretty freaking cool, man. I'm not gonna lie. You guys remember it? Yeah. That was that.
I mean, there's a guy in Colorado that does screen printing out of his VW bus.
I believe
It's
it.
amazing.
I
I
believe
mean, I
it.
know it's not the same, but it's cool.
No,
Like, it's a cool
like,
thing.
I love seeing like people like that with those businesses. Like that's what I love seeing, and those are the people that all of us would like. If they called up for help, we would help them in a second because we know they're putting the effort in. They're trying to think
They're
outside of the
hustling.
box. You know, they're not just like give me everything and I'm just like going to do this. Like they're like, yeah, we're adapting a screen print into our VW. Like that's awesome.
Right.
It's a cool.
All right. So before we wrap up, I don't know that I've ever asked you all this question, so I'm just going to ask it to you. Favorite part about being in the industry, Dean?
Learning and making friends, honestly.
Okay.
Like it's cool. I nerd out on this stuff, and like I don't have people that I'm close to that get it. You know what I mean? Like people ask me like, "What do you do?" or "What did you do?" and "Oh, you make shirts." Like,
Can you make me one?
yeah, right. Well, there's that, but I like the technical aspect of it and like the science of it.
Nerding
and-
out on picoliter sizes.
yeah, and just doing that and to get around other people that
Have that same
same mindset and think the same way. Like that's how I think we all bonded is we kind of all feel that way. It's like, hey, you get this.
I would definitely consider
Yeah.
none of us colleagues and all of us friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like the fact that we actually have the power to make a change and improve things. You know, whatever we say, people are going to listen to, whether it's a manufacturer or somebody else that can make a difference. So in that, and I like working with, same like-minded people, and the people on this table, we all came from pretty much the same space. We came from printers that were one of the early adopting printers, and we know what it takes to run a business and to get our hands dirty. Every person on this table can rip out a printer and put things back together and print extremely well. That's what I like about this group and from the market is working with people like that and the ability to make change in people's lives too, that we're responsible for them making an income and them hiring employees because of the information we give them. So it's a lot of power that we're giving those people in empowering their livelihood. If you really think about it, how many products have you sold to people that they utilize and are able to turn a profit, make a living for themselves and for the people around them? Sometimes we have to reflect on that.
Yeah, that impact can be huge.
Huge.
Yeah. Deanna?
I love this printing space because in reality, printing saved my life. There was a point in time that I went away for a while. I got out, cleaned up, and a month later, I started working for Anajet. And I worked my butt off. I'm trying not to curse. Just so because I felt like they gave me a chance. I got to give this industry a chance. And the more that I learned from this, the more I started to love it, and the more I wanted to give back, because someone helped someone. Someone took a chance on me that was low, and a lot of people are not taking a chance on. So, I love how a lot of us and our peers, we don't judge each other in this industry. Everybody has different backgrounds. Some people are corporate, some of us are like us, some of us full of tattoos, some of us are not, and I just love how, especially in the DTG space more, we have such more camaraderie. But in terms of DTG, you guys are my family, and I will always appreciate each and every one of you.
It's awesome.
Oh, man.
Who's cutting onions over here? Come on,
I feel
Deanna.
like I have to go after that one, so now it's hard. But with this, with me personally, there's two things I like. One is being in it for so long and able to do what I've done. I get to work with different manufacturers to actually create new products. As they were saying before, it helps people make money. To create a new product people have never seen, and it really works, and people have less mess ups and less things. So I enjoy that, to create something new. And then the second part being that I have a print shop, at times it's just I'm printing, whatever. But then I'll get a job that's really outside the box. It's very challenging to do. And I'll get enjoyment from that. Or when I send somebody out a job and I get an email, and for whatever reason, every time I have an email, I always think it's, hey, you messed up my order. But most of the time it's, dude, thank you so much. These came out like great, like perfect
Yeah.
for my event. Like when somebody like says that to me, I'm just like, all right, yeah, now I know why like I continue to like to grind and do these late hours and print this stuff. So I get that enjoyment when people like, you know, love that custom garment, and I clearly love the custom world. So, you know, those are the things that I love about, you know, what we do.
Yeah.
I guess I'll round it out. You know, everything that everybody's already said is absolutely true, and I consider you guys all family. I have way more friends that I consider actual true friends at this show right now than I have back at home. And that's a big thing for me. I love coming and seeing all my friends from across the country. We all are like-minded. I love the fact that we're in this at such an early age of market. You know, screen printing has been around since all of us before we were all born. Right?
Thousands of years,
right, okay?
honestly.
And so with us being in the space at such an early stage, and because we all know so many people now, like up in the manufacturing level and with the t-shirt brands and all that stuff, we do get, like Anthony was saying, we do get to have a little bit of micro influence on what's happening in the space. I really love seeing badass prints come off a printer.
Yeah.
I get excited. I mean, I've seen millions and millions and millions of prints, and I still get excited when I see a badass print come off that printer.
Yeah.
And I think that if you lose that, you get out.
Yeah.
You've got to have
100.
that excitement about, wow, this is not a job. This is my career.
Yeah.
This is my passion. I know two things. Him and I are, Gerald, I'm pointing at somebody. Gerald and I are the same. We know two things. We know cars. And we know t-shirts. That's it. That's it.
I know. I mean, I know. Other
He knows
things.
how to bowl,
Gerald,
bro.
you only
I
knew
know.
two things.
He knows
Okay,
how to
it's
bowl.
official
Only
now.
cars and only.
Well, I do have a bachelor's of science in pure mathematics, so I know my math.
Which you use every day for calculating.
Yeah, calculating the amount of grams I put on a shirt, so I
See?
know my cost.
The gram. Down on a granular level.
Okay.
You mean you don't ask people like us? How many grams am I putting on the shirt?
Yeah.
Well, and you can't overlook the creative space. People that make shirts and apparel, and it's all driven by creativity. There's art. Art is involved.
It's all art.
And I mean, it's great. Like, art is what makes the world a cool place. So.
Yeah.
What about you, Cassie? What makes you love it?
Uh-oh. Oh, we turned it
Listen,
around.
you're
I
on
think
the
that's
mic.
time for our show to wrap up.
Yeah.
My favorite part about this industry is the relationships I've built. Like many of you, many of my closest friends are here today.
Right.
And they're people that I hug, and I like feel an overwhelming sense of like love and just acceptance and excitement every time I see them. And I see them at these shows, at the conferences. I mean, I have many people in my life who I obviously love very dearly, but nothing like the relationships I have formed here. It is absolutely insane the way this community welcomes you in and acknowledges that love for what they have too. You know, it's something that you take personally. Like this isn't a job for me. This is like a personal thing for me, and it's become very embedded in my identity.
It's both,
Yeah.
which is even better.
Yeah, there you go.
You know?
Yeah, I get to do something that I love so much for my career, you know? So yeah.
Well, we really appreciate you.
Oh,
Absolutely.
thank you
Yeah.
guys.
We love doing the podcast, so
Yeah.
hopefully everybody else likes them that's listening. 'Cause we
We're
wanna keep
sorry
doing
for
them.
the edits going forward, though. Dean, Eric.
Well.
I don't know
We
what the
just
fuck
got
you're
thrown
talking
under the
about.
bus.
there.
Okay.
I had to.
Clean ears over here.
Anyway, guys. Well, I mean, much as I love, we all know we're gonna come do this again. We all know this is the third episode we've all done
Something,
together.
yeah.
We all know
Third or
I think it's
fourth.
third.
I think it is the third. It is, the
Is
third.
it? I should
He's
know
the
that.
math
Of all the
guy,
people
so
here,
yeah,
I should. Yeah.
He's got the
Yeah,
BS in
come
math
on,
over
man.
here.
Later.
I got a BS in science.
I thought you had a.
But it's
Oh
but
my
graphic. It
gosh.
is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's still
It's considered a
Yeah,
science.
yeah.
Isn't it?
I have a bachelor's of science in
Wow.
graphic design.
Yeah, there you go. Well, we all know we're going to be together again. So, of course, all of our listeners, you know that there's probably an episode 4, probably a 5, probably a 6. I don't know. I'm just committing these guys to things they haven't even said yes yet.
Yeah, deal with it.
So, right, deal with it. So, of course, obviously, visiting apparelist.com, you can find all of our previous episodes there. You can also plenty of links to connect with all of these guys personally, you know, LinkedIn, emails, phone numbers, all that good information. So, yep, here at Printing United Expo, hopefully we'll see many of you in the future. Guys, thanks for being here with me.
Thanks, Cassie.
Thank you.